Još jednom dobar dan i dobrodošli u Evropsku kuću na konferenciju za medije povodom objave godišnjeg izveštaja Evropske komisije u Crnoj Gori za 2025. godinu. Počet ćemo odmah sa uvodnim obraćanjima ambasadora Evropske unije u Crnoj Gori Johana Sattlera i predsjednika vlade Crne Gore gospodina Milojka Spajića. Pozivamo gospodina ambasadora i premijera da nam se pridruže na podijumu. Izvolite. Ambassador, you take the floor first.
Good afternoon and dobar dan, dear Prime Minister Spajic, Minister Kočević, dear colleagues, ambassadors, dragi predstavnici mediji. Hvala što ste danas s nama povodom prezentacije izveštaje Evropske komisije za Crnu Goru. Počinjemo sa 3 najvažnije preporuke iz ovog izveštaja i to na vašem lijepom jeziku da subtilnosti ne bi bili lost in translation. Prva poruka ovog izveštaja, i to ste upravo čuli od komisarke Kos, ovo je bila vrlo uspješna godina za evropski put Crne Gore. Ostvaren je vidljiv i snažan napredak i Europa to jasno prepoznaje. Prepoznaje vas i Crnu Goru kao jasni frontrunners u ovom procesu. Druga preporuka izvještaja također jasno poručuje da će naredna godina i narednih 14 mjeseci biti presudni. Posebno u oblastima vladavine prava i pravosudnih reformi, od izbora sudija Ustavnog suda do sprovođenja preporuka Venecijanske komisije, imenovanje savjeta nezavisnih tijela i jačanje borbe protiv korupcije i organiziranog kriminala. S ambicioznim ciljem da se u naredne godine zatvori 20 poglavlja bit će potrebna još više truda i tehničkog rada na poglavljima, ali i politička stabilnost i jasan fokus i vlade i skupštine i pravosuđe na ovaj zadatak. I treća preporuka, Evropska unija stoji čvrsto uz Crne Gore na tom putu, kao i Evropska komisija i države članice sa snažnom podrškom, ali i jasnim očekivanjima. So these were the main 3 messages, and in the next, and please bear with me, about 10 minutes, I'll be going and I will be covering 3 main elements. One, the context, where are we, what's the geopolitical picture today, and what are the latest EU-related achievements of Montenegro in the last year. Secondly, what are the main findings of the report, what are on the chapters and on the fundamentals, and thirdly, a little bit an outlook on the way forward on this path. So first, the context, the geopolitical situation. Here, and you heard Commissioner Kos just before in the press conference, the current geopolitical challenges have reinforced our conviction that the European Union needs to do a lot more to protect our own security and our prosperity. This can only be done successfully by working hand in hand with our neighbors to create a strong, secure, and united Europe based on common democratic values. And in this regard, the accession of the Western Balkan countries is a key geopolitical tool for the European Union. In this context, the European Union is supporting strongly Montenegro and its Western Balkan neighbors to meet all the criteria for membership by strengthening institutions, democratic governance, and public administration reforms. So this is, to start with, and you heard it in the press conference before, this is the geopolitical context which we never have to lose sight of. So what were the main EU-related achievements in Montenegro before coming to the findings of the report on the chapters and on the fundamentals? First, the growth plan. Montenegro has made significant progress on the reform agenda, and that's good news, and was able to receive the payments in the amount of about 45 million euros from the first 2 tranches, and is therefore among the best pupils in the class, among the Western Balkans, is among the front runners when it comes to the implementation of the growth plan. Secondly, and this is about the promise we made a couple of years ago about gradual integration, actually joining parts of the European Union, the single market, even before joining the European Union. Here, two big things happened over the last period. One, just last month on 7 October, Montenegro became a full member of the single European payment area. And this means, and many have already tested it, no more expensive fees for transferring money, increased online trade, and more transfers from the EU and the diaspora. And then the second thing, and I'll highlight this here today because it was a bit underreported in the media. 3 days ago, on 1st of November, Montenegro joined the Convention on a Common Transit Procedure, which ensures faster, cheaper, and more efficient and safer international trade with the rest of Europe, which will boost your economy and strengthen its economic ties with the European Union. So this is the second very big thing which happened over the last period of time. And I'm very happy that this is not the end of the road. We have heard Commission President von der Leyen last month. 26, we will continue on that path. And the next big step forward is expected in the form of free roaming with the European Union countries. So this is the second part, growth plan. Secondly, gradual integration. And the third point I want to mention here, and this is beautiful news, we have received 2 weeks ago, Nikšić was chosen as the European Capital of Culture for 2030. And this is the third ever city from the Western Balkans to carry this title. And čestitke and congratulations once more also from here to our friends, to the winning bid and the team which has been working so hard these last years to get the bid through and be successful. So all these steps are the result of two main things. One, they are testament to Montenegro's progress, hard work, and commitment to the EU accession. And secondly, they reflect the willingness of the European Union and its member states to step up to the plate, to answer the geopolitical challenges of our time, and to fill the enlargement process with life. My second part here today is about the actual report, the findings of the annual report. And I don't know if you have a chance to look at it. I can only encourage you to do it. It's not too long. Our reports like 5-7 years ago, I remember, were much longer, 200, 300 pages. We have really reduced them in size, make them more condensed. It's about 100 pages, but it's worth reading. What is clear from the outset is that the report is clearly more positive. You can detect that from the fact that Montenegro closed 4 chapters, but also from the general tone of the report, but also you can detect it from the marks. And the number crunchers here, and I'm sure some of the media colleagues are number crunchers, you have been already giving the respective marks to the respective grades. You know our system, it goes from early stage to well advanced. That's, by the way, a little bit of a science itself, how to get to the nitty-gritty of this grading. But what I can tell you is it's an objective grading. It's a grading which makes it comparable also to other countries in the region. I think that's positive for everybody. So the good news there is that Montenegro has advanced substantially in both the preparedness to join the European Union, A, but B, also the progress over the last year. So this is, I think, the point I wanted to start with. All in all, this makes for the best report card ever received here in Montenegro from the European Commission. Or put plainly, Montenegro has strengthened its position as the front runner in the accession process. Now, looking a bit deeper into the report, what is clear is the report gives credit where work was accomplished, but also highlights the challenges ahead. So it praises where praise is due, but it's definitely not a look through the pink glasses. As it points to shortcomings, it points also to deficiencies, and yes, sometimes it also criticizes. It is fair and well-meaning, which depicts accurately and diligently the situation in the chapters and on the fundamentals. Coming to the political stage, the report notes the strong political commitment of the Montenegrin authorities to its strategic goal of EU accession. In this context, it notes that decisive step towards electoral reform by adopting a first package of legislative amendments, including campaign financing, improving the integrity of election administration, increasing the gender quota, on electoral lists, and introducing an election day for local elections for the whole country. And this is definitely an achievement. We consider it a big achievement, and it was possible because you reached out across the aisle, and it was, in the end, cross-party consensus which allowed this reform to be actually positively voted on. But yes, the report also calls that it's great what you did on the electoral reform, but there's a second part still outstanding. There are a few things from Cracker, from OEC, and I was happy to see last week that the committee in charge of electoral reform actually met and decided to move forward and also finish the second part of electoral reform. Montenegro also successfully overcame an institutional and political crisis related to the Constitutional Court in the beginning of the year through negotiations and the help of the Venice Commission. In October, Montenegro sent amendments to the law on the Constitutional Court to the European Commission and the Venice Commission for assessment, and we expect a swift transposition of the amendments into the law. When it comes to the fundamentals, the report notes good progress in Chapter 23 through the appointment of a new Supreme Court President and initial positive results achieved by implementing the improved legal framework as well as the judicial reform strategy. However, the human, financial infrastructure and ICT capacity in the justice system must be substantially improved. When it comes to domestic handling of war crimes, Montenegro made good progress. Good progress was also made on the implementation of reforms on prevention and fight against corruption. The track record of investigations and prosecutions in cases of high-level corruption improved, consolidating its positive trend. However, the country needs to step up its criminal justice response by swiftly finalizing all pending indictments. Regarding Chapter 24, and here the fight against organized crime, we have some good achievements, including important actions by the Special State Prosecution in uncovering and prosecuting organized crime groups. And here these efforts must be accompanied by sustainable court rulings in order to establish a consolidated track record. Plus, the country also needs to ensure stability in the police by appointing fully empowered heads and directors, and to address risks of corruption and infiltration of organized crime through prevention policy and stringent judicial action. And yes, this is also Chapter 24. You've heard that, Prime Minister, from us before. The visa alignment, we have seen some actions in the past month, and we expect real progress to continue also until the end of next year. When it comes to fundamental rights and freedoms, the legislative and institutional framework is largely in place. However, more effort is needed to finalize the new law on the Ombudsperson's office and to adopt the anti-discrimination law and to improve the status of Roma and Egyptians. On freedom of expression, the report notes the delays in appointing members of the Council of the Agency for Audiovisual Media Services, which we expect to see resolved soon. On a positive note, over the past year, Montenegro maintained its full alignment with the common foreign and security policy, 100%. Well done. Please continue to do so. And you also continued to contributing to EU crisis management missions and operations under the common security and defense policy. Regarding good neighborly relations, we commend the recent steps in resolving bilateral issues with Croatia, and therefore Montenegro should continue to make efforts in finding solutions to all the outstanding issues. On economic criteria, Montenegro achieved an improved level of preparedness in developing a functioning market economy and in coping with the competitive pressure and market forces in the EU. So this is, in a nutshell, as I told you, it's a big book, but this is the gist, the nutshell of the findings of this year's annual report on Montenegro. Now, when it comes to the way forward, here for 25, I think it's pretty clear what we expect. Montenegro aims to close several additional chapters by the end of this year. For those chapters, the report notes good and very good progress, and the ball will soon be, I'm looking at my colleagues here, in the court of the Council of the EU member states to make a decision. And I do expect, I want to underline that, I do expect a substantial intergovernmental conference later in December in Brussels. Looking at 26, where we do see the need to step it up a few notches, are a few chapters. This is Chapter 1, Free Movement of Goods, Chapter 8, Competition Policy, Chapter 12, Food Security, and Chapter 27, Environmental Issues and Climate Change. And yes, of course, Chapter 23 and 24 have to be always in the spotlight when it comes to reform processes in this country. Apart from the chapters, we hope for quick progress on the appointment of 3 Constitutional Court judges, members of the Judicial and Prosecutorial Councils, and Central Bank Vice Governor and board members, to name only a few. Coming to a close, I would like to thank all stakeholders in the executive and in the legislative branches, as well as the opposition, for the fruitful and close cooperation we've had over the past year. I also want to acknowledge Montenegro's vibrant civil society, who were very supportive on various issues and actually contributed positively in getting good solutions, including on the electoral reform, but also on issues and processes related to rule of law or fundamental rights. And yes, a big thanks to my colleagues here, ambassadors, and your staff at the embassies for your not only informing and reporting on a daily basis to your headquarters, but also to your perm reps, but also for your actual and concrete contributions to Montenegro's EU accession path. And my final point is here, and you have heard it from me, EU accession is not a job for one branch of government. It's not a job for one party leader, not a job for one coalition. It's really a whole of society effort, which is very much needed. And therefore, keep working together. You will have, I'm absolutely sure, intense and sometimes tough debates. That's normal. That's part of the political game. But it's important to keep the eye on the ball, and especially in view of 26, which will be a big year. And can become even a very big year for Montenegro. You're going to celebrate 20 years since the re-establishment of independence. You're going to have 2 big summits, at least, the last time I counted, on the Berlin process and the EU Western Balkan Summit here in Montenegro. And this is a big chance for you, because it's a possibility to showcase what positive and what beautiful you can contribute to the EU table. But let me also rest assured, what you can impress the most, and this goes for the 27 leaders of all the 27 governments who will visit next year Montenegro, what you can impress them most with is actual progress, is actual working together, reaching out to the other aisle, and actually making progress, closing chapters, strengthening institutions, and leading by example. So I want to encourage you, Prime Minister, to exactly doing that and continuing going down that path. And once again, congratulations on a very good report.
Hvala vam, ambasadore. Dozvolite za par trenutaka, samo zbog velikog interesovanja medija, da dodatne mikrofone pozicioniramo.
Valja se, kad je dobar izvještaj, nešto izvoli.
Možda kolege iz grčke ambasade da nam donesu neke tanjire da The colleagues from the Greek embassy
Can bring some plates?
bring some plates
To throw against the wall?
so that microphones are spared. I don't think I can read any of this with the amount of microphones. Just so.
It's good that we have such
So you have to.
such a media coverage of this event.
It's amazing. So
Hvala.
I have to improvise a little bit. So the year 25 was extremely successful for Montenegro, but that's just the beginning. The 26 has to be way more successful, and we are looking forward to that. Uvaženi ambasadore Sattler, dragi predstavnici medija, kolege iz vlade, ekscelencije, ambasadori, dame i gospodo. Zadovoljstvo je danas biti ovdje, da zajedno sagledamo rezultate i prezentujemo ono što je Crna Gora realno uradila u 2025. godini. Crna Gora ima dovoljno razloga da bude jako ponosna na ono što vidi u izvještaju. Ovogodišnji izvještaj je najpozitivnija ocjena našeg napretka do sada. To je potvrda da se reformska volja, institucionalna odlučnost, kao i politička stabilnost prepoznaju u Briselu i iznad svega potvrda da smo na nacionalnim prioritetima radili odgovorno, predano i u najboljem interesu građana Crne Gore. Zadovoljstvo je istaći izvanredne rezultate vlade, skupštine, ali naravno i pregovaračke strukture i čitavog tima koji stoji iza te strukture, koji su pokazali da je Crna Gora, iako smo najmanja zemlja kandidat, najnapredniji u procesu pristupanja Evropskoj uniji. Naš reformski put nije lak, jer polazna osnova sa koje smo krenuli je prilično bila izazovna i dalje je jako izazovna. Ali svakodnevno dokazujemo da rezultati dolaze kada postoje jasan cilj i posvećenost. Reforme koje sprovodimo direktno utiču na kvalitet života naših građana, modernizuju i jačaju institucije i stvaraju uslove da Crna Gora funkcioniše kao država članica Evropske unije već sada i prije članstva u Evropskoj uniji. Ovaj izvještaj, pored svih dobrih strana o kojima smo već govorili i pozitivnih ocjena, jasno ukazuje na izazove koji su pred nama i koje moramo zajednički riješiti. Upravo u tome i leži prava vrijednost ovoga izvještaja. Preporuke Brisela ne vidim kao listu kritika ili packi, već kao jasno definisanu mapu puta za našu pregovaračku strukturu, za našu administraciju, za čitavu vladu, ali i za čitav parlament. Na nama je da ih učinimo i postanemo prva narodna članica Evropske unije, nadamo se već 2028. godine. Crna Gora je i ovim izvještajem potvrdila svoju lidersku poziciju u pregovorima sa Evropskom unijom. Od prošlogodišnjeg izvještaja do danas zatvorili smo 4 pregovaračka poglavlja, među kojima je jedno od najzahtjevnijih iz klastera 1, javne nabavke. To je bilo u junu. Ovogodišnji izvještaj donosi zapažen napredak u rekordnom broju oblasti. U čak 18 pregovaračkih poglavlja Evropska komisija bilježi napredak u odnosu na prethodni izvještaj. Posebno je važno što je prvi put u poglavljima vladavine prava prepoznat ovako visok stepen spremnosti. To je jasan znak da smo započete procese učinili održivim i da će već u narodnoj godini očekujemo pune rezultate koji će omogućiti zatvaranje ovih poglavlja. U oblasti vladavine prava postignut je i konkretan napredak koji je prepoznat u ovom izvještaju. Otvorene su brojne kompleksne istrage i podignute brojne optužnice, čiji epilog očekujemo u najskorijem roku. Vlada će nastaviti da unapređuje ambijent za nezavistan rad tužilaštva, policije, sudstva i time doprinosi jačanju povjerenja građana i međunarodnih partnera u rad institucija pravosuđa. Ta sinergija između političke volje sa jedne strane i profesionalne nezavisnosti institucija predstavlja istinsku snagu našeg napretka i u evropskim integracijama i u kvalitetu života naših građana. Pregovori sada ulaze u svoju ključnu fazu, u fazu složenih političkih odluka. Vizna politika predstavlja upravo jedan takav primjer kompleksne političke odluke, koju nakon nužnih odlaganja na ovom putu moramo preuzeti, uprkos izazovnim ekonomskim efektima usklađivanja viznog režima sa Evropskom unijom. Ozbiljno shvatamo i ocjene u poglavljima koji se odnose na ljudski kapital i zaštitu prirode, jer upravo su to najvrijedniji resursi naše države. Zato ovim poglavljima pristupamo sistematski i sveobuhvatno, sa ciljem da unaprijedimo strateško planiranje, ojačamo institucionalne kapacitete, a ove politike stavimo u temelje našeg društva. Kada je riječ o ekonomiji, vlada je fokusirana na stvaranje stabilnog i predvidivog ambijenta, jačanje institucija i povjerenja kako bismo postali kredibilan partner evropskim investitorima. Intenzivno radimo na diversifikaciji ekonomije, unapređenju poslovnog okruženja, kao i na izgradnji novog ekonomskog identiteta zemlje, koji se zasniva na inovacijama, održivom razvoju i evropskim standardima. Do kraja godine Crna Gora ima značajan, do sada najveći broj interno spremnih poglavlja, što je presudno važno za naš ambiciozan plan i završetak pregovora krajem sljedeće godine. Ponosan sam na crnogorsku administraciju koja iz dana i dan pokazuje da može realizovati i ono što se do juče činilo potpuno nemoguće. Također želim da pohvalim i konstruktivno učešće opozicije u ovom procesu, što pokazuje da je Crna Gora u fazi demokratskog sazrijevanja i društvene transformacije, u kojoj evropske vrijednosti postaju zajednička tačka okupljanja svih političkih i društvenih aktera. Izražavam veliku zahvalnost delegaciji Evropske unije u Crnoj Gori i ambasadoru Sattleru, kao i Generalnom direktoratu za proširenje, komesarki Marti Kos i cijelom timu Evropskoj komisiji na kontinuiranom partnerstvu i podršci. Zahvaljujem i upućujem i predstavnicima medija, kao i civilnog sektora, za njihovu posvećenost evropskoj transformaciji Crne Gore. Danas je Crna Gora nadomak svog istorijskog cilja, ulazak u Evropsku uniju. Samo jedinstveni, fokusirani i dosljedni možemo ostvariti višegeneracijski san za dobrobit građana Crne Gore i njihovu evropsku budućnost. Uspjećemo.
Hvala. Hvala predsjedniku vlade i ambasadoru na uvodnim obraćanjima. Dok se spremamo za vaše pitanje, uvažene kolege, zamolit ćemo ambasadora i premijera za jednu zajedničku fotografiju uručenja izveštaja.
This is it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kolege, sada imamo prostor za vaša pitanja. Po pređašnjem dogovoru imamo prostora za 2+2 pitanja za oba govornika. Izvolite, Peđa.
Dobar dan, Peđa Tomović. Pitanje za premijera Spajića. Šta ćete konkretno kao vlada učiniti povodom preporuka iz izvještaja Evropske komisije koje se odnose na, kako je navedeno, brzo pravno rješenje u vezi sa izborom direktora javnog servisa, kao i izbora nedostajućih članova Savjeta Agencije za audio-vizualne medijske usluge? To je prvo pitanje. I drugo, da li ćete uvesti vize za državljane Azerbejdžana? Hvala.
Možemo li da čujemo sva pitanja, pa onda možda je bolje da...
Izvolite, da li imamo još pitanja? Izvolite, koleginica.
Marina Ilić, televizija E. Pitanje za premijera. Da li će vlada razmotriti ukidanje mjere ukidanja bezviznog režima Turske i kada?
Ne vidim više interesovanja.
No questions on the report? No, it was short time to read it, I understand, but would be nice to get at least one. Sve u redu. Everybody is shocked by the positive tone.
Interesantno je stvarno, evo, kao što kaže ambasador, da nemamo pitanja sa današnje teme koja je stvarno nevjerovatno pozitivna za našu zemlju i stvarno bih ponovo da kažem da naravno, ovo jeste najpozitivniji izvještaj u istoriji Crne Gore. To mislim da ne može niko da spori. Ali mi smo vrlo ambiciozni, ne opuštamo se, radit ćemo još više. Pomenuli ste neke od otvorenih pitanja koje izvještaj targetira. Apsolutno sve što izvršna vlast može da uradi u tom dijelu, mi smo spremni da sprovedemo. Želimo da održimo, naravno, potpunu nezavisnost javnog servisa i da unaprijedimo sve što možemo da unaprijedimo u tom dijelu, ali vi znate da izvršna vlast i nema uticaj na javni servis u tolikom obimu, tako da sve ono što je u našoj moći mi ćemo definitivno uraditi. Tu su i sudske instance, tu su i razne druge instance, tako da podržavamo rad i nezavisnog sudstva i nezavisnog tužilaštva da sagledaju čitavu situaciju. Što se tiče vizne politike, situacija je jasna. Već sam rekao u svom uvodnom govoru, mi moramo uskladiti viznu politiku naše zemlje sa Evropskom unijom. Naravno, imamo put, imamo korak po korak i plan rasta je negdje i targetirao i taj tempo usklađivanja viznog režima sa Evropskom unijom, tako da mislim da nam definitivno predstoji jedan period usklađivanja, ali mislim da je to pokazuje i brzinu našeg pristupanja Evropskoj uniji. To govori o tome da jednostavno da niko nije ni očekivao možda i od ljudi koji su možda i ovdje prisutni da će Crna Gora stvarno toliko brzo napredovati i da možemo već krajem 2026. godine zatvoriti sva poglavlja, biti spremni za ulazak u Evropsku uniju, suštinski. I mislim da ta brzina nekad nas i sustigne, ali kao što sam rekao, i izvršna vlast i parlament će uraditi apsolutno sve ono što je u našoj moći da uskladimo našu politiku sa evropskom u potpunosti.
Koliko dozvolite, pomenuli ste brzinu, odnosno dinamiku, da li ste brzi bili kod uvođenja, odnosno ukidanja bezviznog režima Turskoj, a imamo ovaj obrt u istrazi incidenta na Zabjelu, gdje se ispostavljaju neke druge činjenice u odnosu na ono što je vas, pretpostavlja, motivisalo da brzo reagujete nakon tog incidenta, ili je to po vama nebitno, nije vezano za taj incident, odluka?
Nije jedan poseban incident, nego je jednostavno procjena bezbjednosne situacije ili već smo naglasili da je to privremenog karaktera, tako da definitivno ćemo sagledati sve opcije. Naravno, jako je bitno održati ekonomsku aktivnost, održati jako dobre odnose sa svim tim zemljama gdje su potrebne uvođenje viza. Mislim da ćemo u komunikaciji sa tim zemljama naći najbolja rješenja.
Dobro, hvala vam.
Hvala vam. Da li ima još interesovanja? Ukoliko nema...
Maybe just let me say one thing. In addition to what has been said before, I think one of the most positive sentences from the report I found in the sentence which read like Montenegro is on track to close all chapters until the end of next year. I think this is a very positive thing. And I want to commend all those who contributed to getting as far as we got. But the second part of my message is please stay focused. Well done, but don't relax. I think this is also the message you get from Commissioner Kos and from other colleagues. In the end, all the chapters, even those which are closed now, they are provisionally closed. We need to have the focus of the whole administration, of the executive, of the legislative powers, but especially also hard work from the judiciary. I mean, we need to see what we call this track record of criminal investigations coming to final convictions. This needs to be accelerated over the next period of time. And then we are on good track to really close everything until the end of the year. But a lot of work ahead. But definitely from my side today, it's a good day, and you have shown and strengthened your position as the front runner.
I mislim da je jako bitno što je imali smo ocjenu od politika jutros, ocjenu A za napredak Crne Gore, tako da imamo...
Ali to nije od komisije, to je od politiku.
Znam da je politiko, tako da moramo da give credit where credit is due. So.
Zahvaljujemo uvaženom premijeru i ambasadoru. Hvala i vama, uvažene kolege. S ovim je preskonferencija završena.